All right, time to roll up our sleeves and dig into some estate planning. You sent over this estate planning basics guide, and wow, there's a lot to unpack here.
There is. It's a pretty comprehensive resource. But don't worry, we'll break it all down.
Yeah, we'll pull out the good stuff, the need-to-know info to get folks started.
Exactly. And, one of the biggest myths about estate planning is that it's only for the wealthy.
Oh, I've heard that one too.
But really, estate planning is for anyone who wants to make sure their wishes are carried out and their loved ones are protected.
Makes sense. It's like having a set of instructions, even if you're not around to call the shots.
That's a great way to put it. It's about taking control of your legacy, no matter how big or small.
Love that. So this guide breaks down estate planning into 5 key areas: your will, powers of attorney, advance directives, revocable trusts, and life insurance. Where do we even begin?
Well, let's start with the cornerstone of any estate plan, the last will and testament.
The classic. Everyone's heard of a will.
Right. It's your final word on how your assets should be distributed after you're gone.
So like who gets your money, your house, that vintage record collection you've been curating for years?
Exactly. You name an executor in your will who's responsible for carrying out your wishes.
Like a director, making sure the show goes on as planned.
I like that analogy. And you can get really specific with your instructions. You can leave specific bequests to individuals, donate to charities, even set up trusts for your beneficiaries.
Wow, so it's not just about dividing up the pie, it's about adding all sorts of personalized touches.
Precisely. But here's the catch. You've got to make sure your will follows the rules of your state.
Oh, right. There's always a catch, isn't there?
Well, it's more like a legal framework.
Mm.
Each state has specific requirements for creating a valid will, and a DIY will might not cut it.
So no scribbling my wishes on a napkin and hoping for the best.
Probably not. State laws can be pretty complex, and you don't want your wishes to be disregarded because of a technicality.
Okay, point taken. I'm starting to see why having an expert on your side is crucial.
Absolutely. An estate planning attorney can help you navigate those complexities and ensure your will is rock solid.
Now, even with a will in place, there might be times when you're unable to make decisions yourself, which brings us to powers of attorney.
Right. That's where powers of attorney come in. You're essentially choosing someone you trust to act on your behalf if you're ever incapacitated.
So it's like having a designated driver for your life, just in case you're ever unable to take the wheel.
Exactly. And there are 2 main types of powers of attorney. One for your finances and one for your healthcare.
Makes sense. So you might choose your spouse to handle your finances and a sibling to make medical decisions if you're unable to do so.
You got it. But remember, this person has a lot of power. So choosing someone trustworthy and capable is crucial,
Yeah, you're basically handing over the keys to your life.
which is where the concept of fiduciary duty comes in. They have a legal and ethical obligation to act in your best interest.
That's a huge responsibility. It really underscores the importance of choosing someone you truly trust, someone who understands your values and priorities.
Couldn't agree more. Now, here's where it gets a little more nuanced.
Oh, I love nuances. Lay it on me.
You can choose between durable and non-durable powers of attorney.
Durable versus non-durable. What's the difference?
A durable power of attorney remains effective even if you become incapacitated. It's like having a backup generator that kicks in when the power goes out.
Ah, I see. So if I have a stroke or am in an accident and can't communicate, my durable power of attorney would still be able to act on my behalf.
Exactly. A non-durable power of attorney, on the other hand, becomes void if you become incapacitated, which isn't ideal in most estate planning scenarios.
Got it. So durable is the way to go for most people.
In most cases, yes. Unless you have very specific circumstances where you only want someone to act on your behalf for a limited time, durable offers the most comprehensive protection.
Okay, durable powers of attorney, check. Now, how do advance directives fit into all of this? They found kind of similar to healthcare powers of attorney.
They are related, but with a key difference. Advance directives are all about your specific wishes for healthcare. It's like leaving detailed instructions for your doctor, even if you can't communicate them yourself.
So even if I have a healthcare power of attorney, I should still have an advance directive.
Think of it this way. Your healthcare power of attorney is like your spokesperson, but they need a script to follow. Your advance directive is that script.
Ah, I see. It's about making sure my wishes are carried out, even if I can't speak for myself.
Exactly. And a key part of advance directives is the living will.
Living will sounds a bit ominous.
Well, it's not the most cheerful topic, but it's essential. It's a document where you spell out your decisions about life support, resuscitation, and other end-of-life care.
Wow, so it's really about having a say in your medical treatment, even in the most challenging of circumstances.
Absolutely. It's about ensuring that your values and wishes are respected, even when you can't advocate for yourself.
Okay, on to revocable trusts. These have always seemed a bit mysterious to me.
Trusts can seem complex, but they're really about control and efficiency when it comes to managing your assets.
And I've heard they can help avoid probate, which I know can be a real headache for families.
You're right, probate is the legal process of distributing your assets after you die, and it can be time-consuming, costly, and public.
So a revocable trust is like a VIP lane for your assets, bypassing that long public line of probate court.
I like that analogy. With a revocable trust, you create a separate legal entity to hold your assets, and you maintain complete control while you're alive.
So it's like setting up a little mini corporation for your stuff.
Sort of. And after you're gone, the trust follows your instructions, distributing your assets to your beneficiaries without having to go through probate.
And you mentioned privacy. So if I'm concerned about keeping my financial affairs out of the public eye, a trust might be a good option.
Absolutely. Wills become public record when they go through probate, but trusts generally don't.
Okay, I'm starting to see the appeal of trusts. But how do you actually get your assets into a trust?
It's called funding the trust, and it involves retitling your assets from your name to the name of the trust. So, for example, you change the ownership of your house or your bank accounts to the name of the trust.
Sounds simple enough, but I'm guessing there are some legal nuances involved.
It's always wise to consult with an estate planning attorney to make sure everything is done correctly.
Okay, I'm adding find an estate planning attorney to my to-do list. Now, let's talk about life insurance. I know it's about providing for your loved ones if you pass away, but how does it fit into the whole estate planning puzzle?
Life insurance is a powerful tool for financial protection. It can help your loved ones cover expenses, pay off debts, and maintain their lifestyle after you're gone.
So it's not just about a lump sum payout, it's about creating a safety net for your family.
Exactly. And you can customize your life insurance policy to meet your specific needs and goals.
This guide also mentions something about using life insurance for legacy goals.
That's right. You can use life insurance to fund a charitable donation, create a scholarship fund, or even start a foundation. It's a way to leave a lasting impact on the world.
Wow. It's like having a voice even after you're gone.
Exactly. It's about ensuring your legacy reflects what you believe in.
All right, so we've covered wills, powers of attorney, advance directives, revocable trusts, and life insurance. My brain is officially full.
We've covered a lot, but before you go into information overload, there's one more crucial piece to discuss.
Oh, hit me with it.
Fiduciary selection. It's about choosing the right people to manage your affairs.
So like picking the executor for my will or the agent for my power of attorney.
Exactly. And this is not a decision to be taken lightly. These individuals will have significant power and responsibility, so you want to choose wisely.
What qualities should I look for in a fiduciary?
First and foremost, trustworthiness. You need someone you can rely on implicitly.
Makes sense. It's like choosing a best friend for your finances.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you also need someone who's capable of handling the tasks involved. They might need financial skills, organizational abilities, and even a bit of a tough cookie if disagreements arise.
So someone who can stand their ground and make tough decisions, even if it means facing pushback from family members.
Precisely. And don't forget about location. Your fiduciary might need to be physically present to manage your affairs, especially if you have property in different states.
Right, so if I have a vacation home in Florida, I might want to choose a fiduciary who lives near that property.
That's a great example. It's all about practicality and accessibility.
Wow, there's so much to consider when choosing a fiduciary.
It's a big decision, and one that deserves careful consideration. You want to choose people who share your values, understand your goals, and have the skills and temperament to handle these important responsibilities.
You've given me a lot to think about. I'm definitely going to need some time to process all of this.
I hear you. Estate planning can be a lot to digest, but we've laid a solid foundation today.
We've only just scratched the surface. I'm already eager to delve deeper into these topics.
Me too. And don't worry, we'll be back for more estate planning adventures soon.
Can't wait. Until then, happy planning, everyone.
Happy planning.
Okay, we're back. Ready for round 2 of estate planning insights.
Let's do it. Last time we left off talking about fiduciaries and the weight of their responsibility.
Right. Choosing someone to manage your affairs is no small feat.
Definitely not. And we also touched on how revocable trusts, might not be the ironclad shield against creditors that some people believe.
Especially while you're still alive. It's not a get-out-of-debt-free card.
Nope. It's important to remember that estate planning tools like trusts operate within a legal framework, and that framework can be influenced by various factors.
Okay, so no magic bullets.
Right. Each situation is unique. That's why working with an estate planning attorney is so crucial.
They can help you navigate all those legal twists and turns.
Exactly. They'll make sure your plan is rock solid and tailored to your specific needs.
Now, I'm curious about powers of attorney. We know there are different types for finances and healthcare, but are there even more variations within those categories?
Good question. You're right, there's more to the story. For financial POAs, you can choose between a general power of attorney and a limited power of attorney.
General versus limited. So what's the difference?
A general power of attorney gives your agent broad authority to manage your finances. Pretty much anything you could do yourself, they can do on your behalf.
Wow, it's a lot of trust.
It is, but sometimes that level of authority is necessary. On the other hand, a limited power of attorney restricts your agent's authority to specific tasks or a specific time frame.
So like if I'm going on a long trip and just need someone to pay my bills while I'm away?
Perfect example. You're giving them limited access to your finances, just enough to handle that specific situation.
Gotcha. So limited is good for those more specific scenarios. Now, what about healthcare POAs? Do those have different flavors too?
While they don't have the general versus limited distinction like financial POAs, they have the springing versus non-springing concept that we talked about before.
Oh, right. Springing powers of attorney only kick in under certain conditions.
Exactly. Like if you become incapacitated,
Yeah.
it's like a safety net that's only there when you need it.
So it's dormant until a specific event triggers it. Makes sense.
And then there's the non-springing healthcare POA, which is effective immediately upon signing.
So my agent could theoretically start making healthcare decisions for me right away, even if I'm perfectly capable.
Technically, yes, which is why choosing the right agent and having clear communication about your healthcare wishes is absolutely paramount.
Okay, so it's really important to discuss those boundaries and expectations up front.
Couldn't agree more. And on that note, this Estate Planning Basics Guide mentions a document I wasn't too familiar with before, the Declaration for Mental Health Treatment.
Declaration for Mental Health Treatment. That's a new one for me too. Fill me in.
It's similar to a living will, but it focuses specifically on mental health treatment.
Interesting. So what kind of things can you specify in this document?
You can outline your preferences regarding psychotropic medication, emergency mental health treatment, even admission to a mental health facility.
Wow, that's powerful. It gives you a voice, even in situations where you might not be able to advocate for yourself.
Exactly. It ensures your wishes are respected, even during challenging times.
I'm definitely going to look into that.
Right.
Now let's circle back to revocable trusts. We know they can help avoid probate and provide privacy benefits, but what other advantages do they offer?
One of the big ones is asset management during your lifetime, particularly if you become incapacitated.
Oh, right. We touched on that briefly.
You can include instructions in your trust for someone to manage your personal assets, your business, even your investments if you're unable to do so.
So it's like having a backup plan in case life throws you a curveball.
Exactly. It can provide peace of mind knowing that your affairs will be handled responsibly, even in unforeseen circumstances.
Now, this guide also mentions something about how revocable trusts are taxed. Can you shed some light on that?
Sure. The key thing to remember is that a revocable trust isn't treated as a separate tax-paying entity.
So the IRS doesn't see it as its own little business.
Not really.
Yeah.
The income generated by the trust's assets is reported on your individual tax return.
And the assets themselves are part of your taxable estate for federal estate tax purposes.
That's right. So no special tax loopholes or shelters for revocable trusts.
Okay, good to know. But the probate avoidance and privacy benefits are still pretty compelling.
Absolutely. And the ability to manage assets during your lifetime is a huge plus.
It's all starting to make sense now, like all these pieces of the estate planning puzzle are fitting together.
Exactly. It's about creating a comprehensive plan that addresses your unique needs and goals, both during your lifetime and after you're gone.
And speaking of addressing needs and goals, this guide emphasizes the importance of periodically reviewing and updating your estate plan.
It's crucial. Life is constantly changing, and your estate plan should evolve along with it.
So it's not a set it and forget it kind of deal.
Nope. Think of it as an ongoing conversation with your future self.
I like that. So what kind of life events might trigger a need to update my estate plan?
Well, marriage or divorce are big ones.
Makes sense. Your family dynamics have changed, so your plan needs to reflect that.
Exactly. The birth or adoption of a child is another major milestone.
Right. You might need to update your will to include provisions for your new little one.
And don't forget about significant changes in your financial situation.
Like if I suddenly win the lottery.
Well, that would be a nice problem to have. But yes, any major financial shift could warrant a review of your estate plan.
Okay, so I'm sensing a theme here. Estate planning is all about adapting to life's changes.
You got it. It's about being proactive and ensuring your plan always reflects your current circumstances and wishes.
And before we move on from revocable trusts, I'm curious about the process of actually funding them. What does that entail?
Funding a trust essentially means transferring ownership of your assets from your individual name to the name of the trust.
So, like changing the address on your valuables, directing them to their new home within the trust.
I like that analogy. It captures the essence of the process.
So if I have a house, a bank account, some investments, I'd need to retitle all those assets to the name of the trust.
That's right. And the specifics can vary depending on the type of asset, so it's always best to consult with an attorney to make sure it's done correctly.
It sounds like having an expert guide you through that process would be invaluable. You wouldn't want to accidentally mess anything up.
Definitely not. It's about ensuring your trust is properly structured and funded to achieve its intended purpose.
All right, revocable trusts, check. I'm feeling much more confident about my understanding now.
That's great to hear. Knowledge is power, especially when it comes to estate planning.
But I think it's time for a quick breather. We've covered a lot of ground today.
We have. Our listeners' brains are probably buzzing with new information.
When we come back, we'll wrap up our estate planning deep dive with some final thoughts on life insurance and some actionable takeaways for getting started with your own estate plan.
Sounds like a plan. We'll be back soon to tie up all the loose ends.
And we're back for the grand finale of our estate planning deep dive.
Ready to empower our listeners to take control of their legacies.
Absolutely. Let's crystallize all this knowledge into some actionable steps folks can take.
That's good. First and foremost, remember that estate planning is not a one-size-fits-all endeavor.
Right. We've hammered that point home.
It's like building a house. You wouldn't use a generic blueprint without considering the specific needs of the people who will live there.
Exactly. You need a plan tailored to your own unique circumstances, your family, your assets, your goals.
And just like building a house, you wouldn't attempt a complex construction project without the guidance of an experienced architect.
So true. That's where an estate planning attorney comes in.
Absolutely. They're the experts. They can help you navigate the legal maze, understand your options, and create a plan that truly reflects your wishes.
This guide is adamant about that. Get professional help.
Don't try to DIY your estate plan. It's just not worth the risk.
Estate planning documents are legally binding, and any mistakes can have serious consequences.
It's like performing surgery on yourself. You might think you know what you're doing, but it's best to leave it to the professionals.
So, listeners, if you only take away one thing from this deep dive, let it be this. Consult with an estate planning attorney.
They're your trusted guides on this journey. They'll help you create a solid plan that protects your legacy and ensures your wishes are carried out.
While you're at it, gather all your important documents. Your will, powers of attorney, insurance policies, financial statements, everything in one place.
Like a master control panel for your life.
Exactly. Keep it organized and accessible. And make sure someone you trust knows where to find it in case of an emergency.
Excellent point. Preparedness is key.
We also talked about how life insurance can be a powerful tool, not just for covering expenses, but also for funding long-term goals and creating a lasting legacy.
You can designate a portion of the death benefit to a charity, establish a scholarship, even start a foundation. It's a way to make a difference beyond your lifetime.
It's like planting a seed that continues to grow and benefit others long after you're gone.
Beautiful imagery. It's about extending your impact and leaving a positive mark on the world.
Well, I think we've covered just about everything. Any parting words of wisdom before we wrap up this estate planning extravaganza?
Just this. Estate planning isn't just about preparing for the inevitable. It's about living your life to the fullest, knowing you've taken care of the important things.
It's about peace of mind, knowing that your loved ones are protected and your legacy is secure.
Exactly. With that in mind, I'd like to leave our listeners with one final thought to ponder.
All right, hit us with that final nugget of wisdom.
If you could leave one piece of advice or wisdom in your estate plan, what would it be? What message would you want to pass on to your loved ones or to the world?
Wow, that's a powerful question. It really makes you think about what truly matters.
It could be a favorite quote, a life lesson you've learned, or simply an expression of your love and gratitude.
Whatever it is, make it count.
Your estate plan is more than just a set of legal documents. It's a reflection of your values, your priorities, your hopes for the future.
And with careful planning and thoughtful consideration, you can ensure that your legacy reflects what's truly important to you.
That's beautifully said.
Well, on that note, we'll bid you farewell for now, but we'll be back soon with another deep dive into a fascinating topic.
Until then, keep learning, keep exploring, and keep shaping your legacy with intention.
Thanks for joining us on this estate planning adventure.
It's been a pleasure.